Hi. So, as I mentioned to you in class, for in this video, I'm going to try to go through the same workshop and follow some of the same slides as I presented to you in the first part of this three-part course. Now, before we begin, I actually put together a larger presentation about Fitras, which is sort of the ongoing example here. And I just quickly want to go through this presentation so that hopefully this is going to give you some inspiration towards how can you go about collecting some of the information and developing some of the ideas and some of the concepts in order to create to generate the information architecture of your website, the sitemap, and then kind of translate that into a wireframe. All this so it supports the main goal of your website. So for Fitras, as I previously mentioned, I have two goals. First of all, it should be a new source or an alternative source of information on the product and some of the way that some of the features of this app are working. And then the second of all is going to be also, of course, for it to convert into downloads. Now, I kind of put the conversion as a bit on the second plane because most of the conversion will be happening through a marketing campaign, and generally the videos and sort of the marketing campaign that I'm going to be putting through out on social media, that's gonna redirect the user, or hopefully the future user, directly onto the app stores. So the example might be a bit different than for you, depending on the type of business that you have. But let's just start going through this presentation, and I'm gonna hopefully I can explain and I can present what the app is about a little bit more, so you get a better idea, and then hopefully try to understand how we go about it in terms of extracting and organizing the information that we need for our website. There is no right way or wrong way, right? So try to keep an open mind, and if you have better ideas, or if you have other suggestions, I'm actually very curious to hear them, and hopefully you can come up to me and share these ideas with. All right, let's get started. So, as I mentioned, Fitras is going to be a mobile app which is dedicated to the CrossFit, High Rocks, and functional fitness community. And the main problem that I'm facing here is that these users, they don't have an efficient way to log their workout performance. And this is something that I have been experiencing myself. I am the type of person that can get very nerdy very, very quickly. And I like to have data about some of the things that I do. And I also realized that there's no app that does this, or there isn't an app that does this successfully compared to traditional weightlifting. I have a bit of an introduction about what functional fitness is. So essentially, it's just a set of movements that emphasize the natural mechanics of the human body. And then we have sort of the word functional fitness is a bit of an umbrella to some of the terms like CrossFit, High Rocks, which are IP, right? Cool. A couple of key characteristics of the culture: it supports camaraderie, community, and there's this there's this intensity to the communities there, which I think it's kind of inspired, perhaps, or it goes it goes hand in hand with the culture that we see in the army, for example, right? The main mechanic of functional fitness is something which is called the workout of the day, which is a set of exercises and of movements that everybody does that on the same day. So if you go to a CrossFit gym, it doesn't matter if you show up at 6 o'clock in the morning or you go at 4 in the afternoon, you're probably going to do the same workout that is prescribed by the trainer in this class. Good. And that also means that the workouts can act as a performance benchmark, meaning that, for example, if I go at 6 o'clock in the morning and I register my time or I write my time down on the whiteboard, my friend who works out in the afternoon can just do it, can do the same workout, and then we can compare sort of results or performances. The main issue with modern apps is that they have a very outdated UI. And because of the fact that the workouts change every single day, if you want to keep track of your performance, like for example, in this app, you have to create new templates and then you have to like manually go and search for each and every exercise. And then after you've generated the workout, then you have to go all the way back in and then you have to sort of put in the results. And this means that you're going to spend a lot of time on your phone. This works very well. For example, this app specifically works really well for traditional weightlifting. So if you do the bro split or if you do the same workout, then you just generate a template. You have that template saved, and then you just reuse it every time you go to the gym. But this is not the case due to the workout of the day concept that CrossFit and functional fitness have. As I mentioned earlier, if I go at 6 o'clock in the morning and I have a result, or I finish the workout in 15 minutes and my friend goes in the afternoon, well, he can look at my result, but I cannot see his. And then at the end of the day, the times are just going to be deleted. They're just going to be like the whiteboard's just going to be wiped clean, right? So this competition that is on the offline, it doesn't really translate into an online community. And of course, because there is this fundamental UX problem, nobody's really tracking it. So you don't really have a good tool to see your performance over time, or how well did you improve. Did it take me 6 months to go from a 16 kilo kettlebell to a 20, or did it take 4 months? I don't really know, and I don't really have any details about it either. At the same time, there's a subset of people that that don't follow these classes, and they go and then they just do their own workouts, but they have to manually do this. And of course, they do it based on either what they want to train, muscle groups, or certain movements and stuff like that. But it's all done manually, right? When you participate into a class, then of course most classes will be offering you a warm up, so you can perform the workout, but there is definitely no stretching. And in order to prevent injuries, if you want to go and generate your own workouts on your own, you have to be a kind of experienced athlete or a person that has been working out for at least 6 months to a year. So you kind of know the type of warm up that you have to do. You learn that in class, and you know the type of warm ups that you have to do in order for you not to get injured during your own workout that you created for yourself. Good. And yeah, there is no proper way to quantify these workouts. So what am I trying to say here? If, let's say, on one day I do deadlifts, right? And then on Monday I have deadlifts and pull-ups. And then on Wednesday I have deadlifts, and then I have squats, and I have sort of burpees as well. The effort that I'm putting in with the exercises on Monday is very much different than the effort that I'm putting in on Wednesday. And why is that? Well, I can probably lift heavier on Monday because I have one more alternating exercise compared to Wednesday than when I have two other highly demanding exercises as well, right? Because I have to do some burpees afterwards. So I'm probably gonna be tired, and thus I'm probably gonna be lifting less. So in a traditional graph, it would just be like, oh well, you did really good on the on the deadlift on Monday, but sort of the arrow goes down or the line goes down on Wednesday. But in reality, actually, you did even more work on Wednesday than you did on Monday. So how do you quantify that? And as a last thing, there's no unified solution. So there's no app or any other system to kind of capture all these problems that I've just mentioned earlier. Good. Now, there is a entire set of other apps within the community, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna spend too much time, because I also think like I'm spending way too much time describing an app, describing the app or describing the problems with Fitras, and we should be going. But hopefully, you can start extracting some of the ideas that we can start thinking, okay, well, out of all of these descriptions that I've just made, which are going to be important to sort of communicate that in the website, and how are we going to be doing that? But so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what are the good, what are the bad. The idea is that there's no app that does this. So different apps might contain part solutions, but they're not inclusive. They don't really have a good payment structure, and or the adoption is really bad, or the apps are just buggy. Now, but this could be a good opportunity here on this slide to actually start looking into some of the websites of the competition that we have, because this is something that we need to do for our workshop anyways. So